Hey, welcome back to the Three Beards podcast, everybody. It is Wednesday night. We are live at 8 o'clock, and we're actually early today. It's 8:01. Man, I normally am a little bit of a slacker, so this is pretty cool. So we are live every Wednesday, and we are brought to you courtesy of Earth Radio. I got the thing right way this time. So you check that out. Go to mixler.com. Make sure you set up an account there so you can follow his show and the other shows that are on there, like obviously us and Into the Outer Realms, along with Dimensions of the Supernatural, plus a lot of live drive with Ron. As you know, you just gotta one of these times, or probably something exciting, like almost get hit by a deer or do something like that. It'll just be pretty interesting. Otherwise, you'll just listen to him as he goes pick up a Subway sandwich for his pills from the pharmacy. So hey. That's like I said, you can always hope. Maybe there'll be an alien abduction right in front of it. You never know. That's like I said, Sasquatch will go running across the road. We can only hope. But you won't know that unless you don't watch his show. So yeah, check out Earth Radio. So tonight, we running a little bit behind. We haven't from the guest yet, but if he comes in here, it's Paul Sinclair. He is a paranormal researcher, cryptid investigator. I think I got that backwards. Paranormal investigator, cryptid researcher. Here, how's that? We'll get that right. He's author of several books. So hopefully when he comes in here, we'll be able to do it. But in the meantime, you get to deal with me, Brian, and there is a special guest with a ponytail that will be coming on too. You know him, you love him, you like to talk to him, you like to give him some lovin's. Mark Eddy is with us in there. The guest chair. So just sit back, everybody. We'll go, and then hopefully, like I said, Paul will be able to join us here a little later on, but we're definitely going to just start the show. So everybody get your questions, and we'll just kind of talk news of the day and stuff like while we're waiting there. So everybody, we'll see you on the other side. Welcome to the Three Beards podcast. My name's Craig, along with Austin and Chris.
Passed to a new generation of Americans born in this century.
Let me out.
I'm afraid that is right. I need you.
Then live to send the innocent to their death? Is this justice and honor in Massachusetts colony?
And we're here. We're back. We're live. So Chris is out. He has got football playoffs with his son. So family comes first. So yeah, he is doing that. So I said we wish Mason the best in his game. So hopefully it should be over by now. So hopefully they won. But yeah, so
that's cool.
That's waiting good. In the green room, like I said, the affirmation, and we got the applause ready. Here he is. Mark Eddy, how are you, sir?
Doing fine. How
we'll get
are you guys doing?
There it is.
It's a little late. I'm slow. I'm having a little bit of a tough time lately.
No, it's one of those. Hey, Alan, hey, welcome everybody. Thank you for the stars. Really appreciate that. Yeah.
Sorry about that.
No, you're good. It's just that ERRT spaceship is, to destinations unknown. We're not sure. we're not sure if it's going to land again. But yeah, it was pretty cool. And when the guy that made it, I'm assuming guy. We don't know that nowadays. So we're just when the person or persons, if they're too spirited, I don't
Meat
today.
suit.
Yeah, everything's just weird. But
Meat
I am in
suit.
the weeds now. Anyway, the person that made it, they included aliens in there, and I thought it was pretty cool that just happened to be 3
Yes.
aliens. So that I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah,
Be
yeah.
kind of
M.A.
cool.
Allen enters preferred pronouns. At work we had HR training, and let me tell you, that is nowadays just
Derek.
Derek. Hello, I'm telling you, nowadays with this whole pronouns thing, this is just brutal. This is just brutal in the eyes of the law. I mean, literally, I could come to the show and tell everybody I want to be known as Paula. And if anybody doesn't address me as Paula, you are being intentionally, hostile, and you're creating a hostile environment. And so you guys all start calling me Paula. Everybody starts going like this. Well, then next show, I decide I want to be called Bob. I'm now Bob. I'm back to this team. And anybody that calls me Paula is being directly hostile because I want to be called Bob.
Well,
And in the eyes of the law, you have to follow this thing. So basically, somebody can just go off the rails and change, almost on a daily basis. And if you don't keep up, you can actually get in trouble as an employer for not, for not going along with their thing. As long as they have established that this is what they want to be called, you can get in trouble for it.
Can I use my response to this whole thing that you're talking about?
Just, I quit. You do the George Costanza thing. I'm out. Just walk away.
At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
That is one of the best clips probably in movie history. That has to, Bill, for anybody that doesn't know, that's from Billy Madison. That's during when he's doing the final tests, so that way he can inherit the hotel empire from dad. So he has to, and he talked about, the little puppy, how it lost its way, and that's a reflection on society, and that's when everything comes to. But yeah, let's look at the categories. My wife is a. Oh yeah, it's just. Oh my God! But yeah, so we had to do that training. I mean, the lady that did it, she did a really good job. I mean, like I said, there was a lot of stuff that was actually pretty informative in it. But see, I paused there somehow.
Did she come in from another business?
She's employment law, lawyer, and so this is like her thing. She is just, and so.
So when did she start this practice? Like how long has she been practicing?
Oh, she's done this for years.
I don't understand how pronouns could legally you could be that's the thing. It's just because a lot of this was like an update for today's time and age, and that's a lot of things like on your applications. I mean, one for me, I'll get this with people. I honestly think like for applications, there really is not a reason to even ask somebody whether you're male, female, or whatever, what your race is. There's not really any of these things that ever really should have any bearing unless there's something like specific, like a specific job that requires like somebody of a certain sex or something like that you have to do this. I go, other than that, that really doesn't matter. I mean, it's just whether you're an engineer. Does it really matter if you're applying for an engineering job, if you're a man or woman, or if you are a black, white, Asian? Does it really matter? It should be simply, can you be an engineer? It does because there are certain rules and regulations. I don't know if it's affirmative action or.
Well, no. That aside.
Certain.
No, I get that part.
That they make agreements, like state will make agreements. Well, we'll make sure that 20% or 50%, 40% are women, and of that percentage, X amount are going to be, whatever. I mean, I think you should just hire people for the job.
Yeah, and that's what I said. I was taking that just what, regardless of what because I get that. It's like you got to have a certain number of like I said, you can't walk into a business and all they hire is white guys, because then I get it in our climate, but it's one of those. But just just like he's talking about, like a loan. At what point does anything other than your financial state have any bearing on whether or not you get the loan? It shouldn't matter anywhere else. It shouldn't matter who, what you look like, who you are, how tall you are. It should just be, you're asking for $200,000. Are you going to be able to pay me back? This is the proof I need from you. Do you work? Do you do all this stuff? That's the only questions that should be answered. And so, so the HR training, long short of it, it was just one of those things where a lot of us were just like, wow. I had
somebody like at the school, like, what are your pronouns? And I said, my pronouns are go fuck yourself. And they just had no response. It was like wide-eyed looking at me like,
what? Because like an application, I don't know if anybody's seen this. It's now Mr., Mrs., and MX.
MX. Oh my God.
And the MX is because you don't identify as a Mr. or Mrs. And it's just, it's just
what it is.
Derek, that is a whole nother show, man. I'm telling you, it's one of those. There's times I really wish. I mean, I guess I could say I had the cojones to be political.
I'll be right back. I want to show you something.
Okay. Yeah, I really wish I had the cojones to be a political show.
He gets naked and comes back naked. I'm off right now. Okay. He wants to show us something.
Hey, I know. He just comes back. Check this out.
If he starts
you see the skinny hairy leg just come onto the screen.
He does a Buffalo Bill, man, in Silence of the Lambs. I'm done.
Okay, here. The other day, I went to this restaurant with Mom.
Yes, go ahead, Mark. Sorry about that.
And ordered. And they took my name, even though Mom and I were the only people there. And they brought the burgers and French fries out in these bags, and they asked my name and said Mark. Okay, that's what they wrote.
Bark.
And then on the other,
who do they think they are? Starbucks.
Yeah, seriously.
And look what Gark.
This sounds like one of those that makes fun. Like that's like their stick, is that they're gonna just like.
Yeah. So after this was like about the third time this waitress had waited on Mom and me, and so after we ate. There wasn't anyone else in there. There's one of the employees from downstairs came up. It was eating too. She was kind of sitting behind where the waitress was standing, and showed her the bags. And it was like, how do you get Bark and Gark out of my
maybe
name?
That's your stripper. Those are your stripper aliases.
Yeah, so I was like, I don't know, maybe she was really hoping I was a stripper or something. I didn't have enough money to pay, and I'd have to put on a show to work. I really don't know.
What's your name? I'm Barf. I'm a Mog. I'm a man and a dog. I'm my own best friend.
Yeah. So I said, so how do you know that you misspelled my name in the first place? So how do you know that I don't use like a silent X in front of it? Like she was trying not to laugh at me. Her friend sitting behind her was just laughing.
That's just messed up. It's just.
But she
is, but it's funny.
It's
still funny.
She knew I was making fun of her. And that's why I saved the bag just for the
from a memento.
Fun. Yeah, it just made fun of the situation. But you guys brought that.
Do you have a marker?
Crossed it out. Mark.
I don't really care. I just, I've had to answer to other
Names.
wrong names applied to me. But I just thought it was kind of relates to the pronoun thing. I really didn't care. She called me Gark.
Yeah.
I don't know how you got that when I said at the counter
It's
my
all
name.
about that rap
asked me
rhyming.
my name. Mark.
Rap rhyming.
Oops.
I'll tell you when I go into places, they always spell my name Brian, and it's not spelled that way. It's Bryan. And I'm sick and tired of it, it's annoying. So I just start choosing names. So I usually tell people like in BurgerFi, I'll be Bigfoot.
There you go.
What's your name?
What?
Bigfoot.
What's that? What's that one? I'm not going to take credit for it. Somebody else did it, but it's like on Starbucks. You tell them that your name is Spartacus. So when they call it out, hopefully you have people in the place that will play along. Because then you have like multiple people yelling, I'm Spartacus,
I'm Spartacus, yeah.
and he's standing up, But of course, that's so old now that you're going to have most of the kids are like, "What the hell's going on? I don't get it."
This is something this is on the same line, right? So I get a little bit tired of, I'll meet some people. This is when I was back home up in the New York area. I'm trying to go find a parking spot to pick up my kid at like 2:30, whatever. And I must have told people my name, Brian, at least a dozen times, this one guy. So I'm at a light looking for a spot, and I'm just not in the mood. And he goes, "Hey, what's up, big guy?" And as the light turns green, I go, "Nothing much, pattern baldness." And I just drove off. Okay. So someone comes up to me and goes, "Did you just say that?" Because he got pattern baldness. And I go, "You know how many times I told that motherfucker my name is Brian? And you got to go with big guy?" Yeah, okay. What up, gap teeth? I mean, I'm just, I don't do pronouns. It's all off. I would be in HR every freaking day.
I wish, like right now, as you're saying that, I wish I could find that meme. It shows a park ranger going out. He points over the bushes like, "Oh my God, look." I'm back.
He just
I got that. I'm back.
exited himself.
So yeah. I bleep myself.
Greg, the
No.
humanity.
I'm not sure what's going on.
Oh my God.
Is it just me or am I lagging?
That's right, folks. We killed Craig.
Am I lagging? Am I lagging?
No, I thought you just you were clicking around a little bit. I said, "Oh my God, he just killed himself."
Yeah, no. So where is that? What the story is? So the park ranger, he points over the bushes and said, "Look, it's Bigfoot," and Bigfoot turns around and says, "Look, it's Tiny Wiener." And so it shows the park ranger back in the office. The guy's, "How'd it go today?" "Shut up."
Well,
yeah. So it's
the point.
Oh man,
Craig did some self-canceling there.
Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why.
He went to HR on his own.
Because like on my phone, I look fine, but I keep watching it over on the StreamYard side, and I keep lagging. So I don't know if let everybody know if that's me.
I'm having just.
If that is, I can jump out and come back in. I don't want that to be.
No, you're not lagging.
Okay.
I'm having Nest issues.
All right, so I'm just gonna keep pretending like everything's good.
I haven't gotten back anything from Mr. Sinclair, who is, I got to be honest, I'm going to hype him up right now. The man, in my opinion, I've known Paul for at least a decade, and
yes, we can't get him on. We'll definitely reschedule him. I mean, don't worry about that.
He's an amazing researcher, investigator, in everything like high strangeness. We'll just call it high strangeness because that includes, cryptids, legend, lore, UFOs, and the lot. He's also been an experiencer. He has a lot of movies that he's been in, and he's produced. His latest one is called Wolflands. Wolflands. You can get it on Amazon Prime. You can download it or stream it or whatever. It's worth it. And he goes and investigates a bunch of people. I was hoping to be on because I have a couple of questions. And he has a whole series of books called Truth Proof, which is basically his interactions and experiences in this world of the strange. You don't just wake up one day and, hey, I'm going to go investigate, paranormal stuff. not part of the artificial intelligence. Say that again.
Hey, Laura.
Brian, would you?
Welcome.
I don't know if they can. I have
But
no
see,
idea.
I was going to say, I was waiting until you're done there because I said this is actually this is actually an interesting. It's almost a philosophical question.
There she is. She's in. We haven't seen you in a while, Miss Nana.
So everybody in the chat, like, weigh in on this one too, because Derek, he brings up that this is almost philosophical in the way you look at it, because there's two camps that AI cannot, and I know, Brian, I think you're one of these two, that AI is never going to be able to achieve like the true consciousness, like the thing. But there's also like the Ray Kurzweils and stuff that pretty much go to the prescribe to the fact that we are actually a form of AI, that we live in a simulation, and that we're basically, this is just part of the simulation creating itself.
Here's the thing about an artificial intelligence. It's programmed by human beings. Okay, it's black and white. There is no gray with artificial intelligence. It's whatever's put in is what you get out. And then even if it create information, it's going to be either yes or a no answer. The thing about why it's not going to be the ultimate is there is a gray. There's a yes, no, and a maybe section. There's emotions attached to it as well. An emotional response versus nope, you're done.
There's the caveat, like kind of a counterpoint to that is a few years ago when the AI started talking to each other and created a language we didn't understand. So that was not programmed in. They actually created that. Created that.
You can. This is the problem with artificial intelligence. You can create. They can create new languages. They can create slang from the new languages, but the answer is either yes or no. There's no gray. There's no emotional component in it. And what's the emotional part of this whole entire life, even if in a simulation, it's that is the free will portion of the fact of the system. We need emotions to make decisions. For case in point, and I'm going to use a modern one, right? There's a huge conflict right now in the Middle East. Okay, it doesn't matter, and it's irresponsible for people to take one side versus the other. They're the individuals responsible for these actions were wrong, but on top of that, there's the human component. It doesn't matter. There are kids dying on both sides. There are men dying on both sides. There's women dying on both sides. There's grandparents dying on both sides. Innocent freaking people. And in an AI situation, they don't care. Attack, 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 attack until there's nothing to attack. That's the element that we're talking about. They'll never achieve that. Even if you program it into the system where they said, like the laws of robotics, you can never hurt a human or whatever. Well, there's certain acts where emotionally you have to make a judgment call. And that act, like for example, if you're president, well, if I press this button or I say yes to this, there's going to be 100,000 people going to die today. But if I don't, there's a possibility 1 million people could die. That's the emotional component. And then if you put an AI into that, they won't make that decision because any action would hurt the human. Either way, a human gets hurt, so they'll back away from it. That's the difference.
That's one too. It's like Elon's brain chip too. This is another dangerous one. It's like, especially with, we're pretty much, we don't have a way of really, and there's not really a way to stop hacking, just outright. There's just no way to. So you're going to put something that literally technologically, you could end up with a technological version of zombies. If enough people do these brain chips, you could actually take over people and actually turn them into like a tech zombie. But I don't know if there's any way of like we're all going to contract a disease and then we're going to go walking around stumbling or as we're rotting to death. Parts are falling off. I don't know if that's ever possible. But that's don't never say never. I mean, because you got that fungus that takes over insects like ants. So that's so they're never say never. Last of Us, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Laura, that's the thing. It's just that's another one of those things. It's the dilemma. It's the duality of this. You have a lot of people that have that side, like through the religion and stuff, where it's the mark of the beast. You have this stuff, and it's the other thing. It's like this is a way of potentially erasing Parkinson's disease, Lou Gehrig's disease. Being stuck in a wheelchair, paraplegic. This has that potential to completely reverse these things to where you can actually go back to a mostly normal existence like you had before. And so, which way is which way is wrong? Which way is right? That's part of the question of this stuff. Is like, the arbiter of it. It's like, I don't know. I mean, everybody's got the free will aspect of it. So I don't know. These are some of the dilemmas that are coming up that, it's like, hey, 20 years ago, none of us ever thought we'd be having this conversation.
I really do think AI is the lazy person's way out. And the more lazy we get as a society or a world, the less value we are worth in the world. This is the problem, and this is the mentality. If you're just going to sit there and consume, but not produce anything, what's the need for individuals that do that? Then you're going to get a whole bunch of people that we're seeing it now, uber elite. Well, they're just parasites on the system, and it's taking away from my food and this person's whatever. So we don't need them. It gets really, really scary.
Well, it's going to get worse because just as things come on, in my industry, in the garbage industry, eventually garbage trucks are going to become drones. And you'll have some version of a robotic system on the back, picking up like mattresses, couches, yard weight, putting all this stuff in the back of a truck, because you're not going to need a human component, because a robot doesn't need to take a break. It can work around the clock 24/7, picking up, sweeping. And that's what I said. Eventually, it's going to get to the point to where a lot of like manual, like driving jobs and stuff are no longer needed. And so that's just like what Brian was just saying. At what point do we start realizing what do we do with somebody like myself that gets displaced? Because obviously, if we have 12 drivers that pick up trash and now we only need one drone operator to watch the screens and ensure that everything's going like it's supposed to, well, that's 11 people that are no longer employed. They don't have a job. What do we do with those people? Now they're on the system. And that's what I said, eventually the system is going to keep growing. And then we get to that whole mincome debate where do we just pay men to, and men as in people don't get all sexist on me here. This isn't a sexism thing. It's like, what do we do with humanity that is no longer needed in a workforce? Do we just pay them? Yeah, it's like, Soylent Green is people. I mean, do we go that route, or do we end up with basically what they've been trying in some areas, the mincome, where people are just paid to exist? God's the copybook heading, where all men are paid, to exist.
They can find other jobs, but what if you move into another field and AI has taken those jobs too? What do you do with so many people who just cannot enter any aspect of the workforce? And like, do you only want menial labor type jobs?
Well, then this thing, most of those jobs will be taken over by some version of AI, like fast food jobs.
Oh,
They've
but
opened they've
so
opened several locations where there's like 2 or 3 total humans for the entire operation. Everything else is done through
Got
machinery.
one right over here. I got one
Mhm.
right by me, and it's you can't go up and say, "Oh, you know what? I don't want to be in the drive-through. I'll just go up to the front," and they won't. They won't. There's 3 people in the place. One person's operating the drive-through, and the other 2 are just going back and forth. And they said, "No, you got to make it. You put the order in the computer." I'm like,
Yeah, they're
I'm
just,
tired of
you
that.
know, you're going to basically need that one person in the suit that's going to make sure the burger cassettes are loaded up into the machine, and you know that all the supplies are actually in its place, but it's going to be the machines that are going to be creating, assembling, popping everything out into the bag, and it's going to come to you right like a
but
drive-through window thing, and you just go
uh,
about your
so
business.
so the CEOs and like
Yeah,
those who collect the money aren't going to be replaced though.
they are going to be replaced. See, every
Oh,
position. So you're starting right now with just the blue collar jobs, right? They did it in the auto industry. They did it everywhere, right? And then what's going to happen is so great. So now let's use the garbage business as an example. So the trucks now are automated. They don't need anybody there, right? So then they have several people that are working watching the screens. Well, AI can do 10 screens, at one time
Mhm.
versus one human. So now we don't need 10 people more. And then we don't really need anybody to watch over the country. There's no CEO needed. So we'll just, get a report. It'll spit out a report every week, or the owners will spit it out and say, "Oh, okay, we're
Those
making money. This is where we have a problem. Up, we need more computers. Put it in there, and then there's no CEO." I mean, it's. I don't
Yeah,
trust
Susie
any
said it right. It's easily like Wally.
Wally. Yeah, well,
Yeah, where we're all just going to be basically zipping around in our little hover rounds, becoming 700 pounds because all we have to do is just eat and watch, and entertainment.
I mean, like I saw Cisco's like talking about the robot that goes around the supermarket
Hmm.
and cleans. I've seen something in see them in the supermarkets like ShopRite or Stop and Shop has them, and this it's like a stick and it just goes through and
Yeah, it's the inventory robot that actually goes through and scans the tags.
but
yeah, it's just you know what?
Hmm.
I'm good. I don't, you know.
I haven't seen the one at the Walmart here locally, but we had one right prior to COVID. They had it running. You would just be going down the aisles, and it would stop, it would scan, and it was the order. That's how the ordering went done. It just went through and just did inventory all day long. That was its job, just going around the whole store, just taking inventory. And so that used to be, assistant manager or some ordering special. That used to be their job. Now, like I said, that's robotic. I mean, Japan, I think they're working on janitorial robots where they go through, they clean the bathrooms, they do all this stuff. It's
You got to give me a
just
robot with like a bandana tied around, and a cigarette out of his mouth. You almost finished, Frank. I don't know, Frank. You got to change the personality.
I know you got the robot that just comes out like, oh my God, you should have seen the hell out of that one.
What'd you do this weekend? My wife tried to give me an oil change. She's killing me.
She used the wrong oil. I almost died.
Guys,
She gave me motor oil. It's supposed to be hydraulic. It was a
yeah.
close call.
what would be the cultural changes if yeah get all people are l- losing, more and more people are losing their jobs because of AI. You have uh, let's just say dads who are developing their sense of fulfillment of providing for the family. They're their kids really don't get see that from their dads. They pass that on to like the grandkids, the next generation, where you have people who really don't have a sense of identity, never really achieved anything. w- i- As we keep going on with starting with the blue collars, and it expands exponentially, and the generation after generation is really feeling uh, a helplessness, hopelessness,
Yep.
a loss of like self-esteem, things that go with a job, having a purpose.
That's gonna fade though. I know what you're saying
It's
because, like, like you were replaced. What am I supposed to do? I feel
you know,
useless. I'm not making money. You know,
yeah,
and what's gonna? But they do it now. You okay? I like physical audio, physical discs, physical everything. When I buy something, I don't want to stream it and I want to download it. I want a physical CD or a
yeah.
record or
I'm I'm
cassette or whatever
I'm like that
because
too.
I
Yeah,
own it. I can do whatever I want with it, put wherever I want, and do whatever I want with it. Kids today, oh, like, well, just stream it. They don't understand what they're losing by just stream it. What happens? The internet goes out. What are you gonna stream?
Well, you're going to run out of that option. I mean, even Best Buy just announced that they're going to be getting rid of discs.
And then on top of that, well, there's a huge warehouse filled with CDs. And something, so you'll get them at the dollar store, like, oh, Casey and the Sunshine Band, 50 cents. Cool. Whatever.
Well, yeah, but where like here, it's Godzilla is the name of the movie, but it's some Chinese knockoff that says Giant Lizard Man.
Giant lizard guy.
Attacks city. Two, and that's the name of it.
So we're at this point where, like, I was replaced by a robot. I feel, and like I failed my family, but we're going to get to a point where it's just going to be commonplace, and that whole role is gone. Matter of fact, we're getting to a point where they need automation. Why do kids need to go to school? There's going to be no jobs, so you have no reason to learn. I'm just going to throw it out at you.
Well, I think, like with Mark's,
you become less of a desirable to have around.
Like Mark's saying with like culture, I think the answer is we're pretty much this way. We're already seeing it because just like what you're saying, the younger generation, they have very little in common with the generations before them now, and so it's what you and the three of us and people in the audience are used to. The work involved doing these things. They don't see that now. It's literally food can be brought to me. I can do this. It needs to be. Everything can be brought to me. I can go here if I want to go somewhere. I just take an Uber or I take a Lyft. I just do. So a lot of kids nowadays, I think people are seeing this. They don't have the same drive, literally, to drive. They don't. They don't want to get their license. You have a lot of ones that they don't. It's not any urgency. They're just kind of like, like my son. You want to go get your license? I don't know. Like, God, I mean, when I was getting ready to turn 16, I wanted to get my learner's permit and do stuff. Now they're just like, nah.
Yeah, I know kids.
If I want to go somewhere, you'll get it for me.
Yeah.
It's like,
holy shit. Yeah, it's like Bill Gates. And I think of, like, when I think of all this stuff, if you guys ever saw Starship Troopers, where they fight the bugs in the movie, and they go to war, and they're all in the shower. Great shower scene, by the way, for select you in there. And one woman goes, I want to be a citizen so I can have a baby. We're going to get to the point where you're not going to be allowed to do things as a human being because you need to qualify. And there may very well be like, well, you got to join the space command, or you got to do your time mining shit on a planet that's a light year away. I mean, we're getting close to this type of stuff. Actually, we're actually getting close to thermonuclear war, but that's a totally different subject for a different day. You may not have to worry about this.
Yeah, but maybe somewhat related to what we've been talking about is, you know, feeling a loss of purpose if your job was replaced by AI. You get all these test scores that plummeted because of COVID policies. How many generations is that going to take to work out the dumbasses that were produced because of bad policies when kids really weren't affected? How come schools were closed down even though the teachers were vaccinated? So what's the threat to the kid? The students.
I mean, this whole last 3-4 years, whatever it was. I mean, it totally affected my kid. She literally was having panic attacks. The problem is schools provide a social outlet for a lot of kids. They also provide food for a lot of children. I know that from New York City. When I was there, schools stayed open even in the worst weather because that was the only meal some kids were getting. Think about that. That was their meal. And these kids would take extra food and milk and they bring it home so they can have something to eat later or possibly feed somebody in their house. So, the ramifications of not having that socialization, not having that meal, that source, and then all this 24/7 coverage. I mean, I'm seeing it right now with what's going on in the Middle East. This huge propaganda wars on both sides. And unfortunately, because of AI technology with video and pictures, you can't trust what you see before your eyes anymore.
No,
and you can't trust anybody reporting because they've been lying to you too.
Except for what you see on Three Beards podcast.
That too, yeah. Except for us, that's because Craig is an AI.
That's nowadays you're not supposed to out people unless they want to be discussed. You just outed me. I'm offended. I'm taking you to Three Beards HR. We'll talk about this. We will talk about this after the show.
Chris.
We'll do it live. We'll do it live. Yes.
Put him in the Iron Maiden.
Oh my God. All right. So that was a nice little. I'm gonna step on the other landmine. Okay, I'm in the camp. The train footage is bogus. Bogus. Colorado train footage is a hoax. That is a dude or dudette in a suit doing simply for just to bring attention to either just basically just get on the interwebs.
Well, there was a post recently I posted that on Twitter, and then they posted something on top of it, someone saying that this is a group of people that pretend, do Bigfoot tours, and it was somebody in the suit doing it. Now, nobody really knows, but I know where the area is. It's not an area you can get to very easily at all. And
the terrain's only about like that. It's not very steep. I went elk hunting and stuff that was steeper than that, and I walked around with a full pack gear and a rifle.
It's not even that. It's getting into that location.
Oh yeah, no, we hiked up stuff like, we were hiking up these. As I said, it's not hard to get into these things. These things you can hike into these things. I've hiked up almost, vertical cliffs type this with gear to get over a ridge. That's just said. That's the part that it just takes some planning. But where they're at, no. Somebody in a suit could easily be walking around,
pretending. That's what I said. I mean, I had some people say that's steep terrain. I'm like, those sagebrush. I grew up in that area. Those things are about 2 to 3 feet tall on average. That's the size of the sagebrush. Those things were coming up to that we'll say that creature's knee. And so just based off, so I said based off that, it was maybe 7 feet tall. And even me in a suit, I could easily pull off a 7-foot looking creature. And that's why I said unless it got a VO5 hot oil treatment, that thing was some really nice, runway model hair.
That's something that annoyed me about the video to begin with. But again, my response is nobody I know of has a Bigfoot in captivity and knows exactly how the code operates.
And that's a segue to it. And I think it's a prime example for people to where we got to start embracing allegedly, I believe, I think, and not using definitives. It isn't like I just started here. I believe it's a hoax. I'm not saying it is for 100% because I don't know. It could be real. It could not. But I think there's too many people that use definitives. I for sure know this is this. How do you know?
No.
Like Brian just said, we don't have one in a lab. We've never captured one in a zoo, so we don't know if it actually bangs a tree with a stick or a rock. If it likes to claw, if it and its mate like to do the nasties underneath the tree trunk. We don't know. Because we don't have them captured. We have no idea. It's all speculation. It's all conjecture, hypothesis.
It's of course, and that's why when I posted that video long before, I got that really quick, and I looked at it, watched it, looked at it again. I said, "This is kind of interesting." The shiny hair was very suspect for me, but I posted it.
Yeah,
posted Bigfoot train, Colorado, blah blah blah.
Katie, you're welcome. If you would like me to come up with some other scenarios where Bigfoot gets it on, I'd be more than happy. Yeah. If the tree's a rocking, don't come and knocking, all right?
Yeah, if you think he has a Bigfoot, hold on, ladies. Yeah. But see, you know what? If you show me that same footage and his wanky's out and it's just like the size of I don't know, like a small child, and it's just
we can even make it worse. It's like somebody posted, I think it might have been Ryan that posted something like you said. Now it's Bigfoot. Do you think it's like a human looking one, or do you think it's the Red Rocket? What do you think?
That's awesome.
And I'm like, see, again, it's things we don't know. It's all it's all conjecture, all speculation. We don't know.
I'll tell you, there's going to be room for Bigfoot porn down the line.
There already is. There already is. And I don't even want to tell. I'm ashamed that I even know the answer to that.
Greg knows it because his subscription to Pornhub is.
Yes, I'm very ashamed that I know the answer to that. But I do know for sure that there's at least 2 where the main theme is people getting it on with Bigfoot.
Like family style.
No, like like the I'm out in the woods. Oh my God! Oh, here comes Bigfoot. And all of a sudden it is, you got Bigfoot there. It's just like I said. I'm ashamed I know this. That's already that's already off the table. I'm ashamed I know this.
Yes,
but
Katie, you do not unlearn what Craig has told you right now.
But the only job that won't be replaced by AI is the mattress actresses and
no. Oh no.
Oh no, I'm not even going. No, Ron, I'm not even going down this road to even tell you guys how I know this stuff. That's what I said. I mean, I could at least give some redeeming grace and tell you that I'm being honest here. I didn't watch the whole video. Okay. Right. I said so. This is, I only read the cover and saw the stills. That's it.
Read the articles. Yeah, I'm the idiot that went and all of our friends were looking for videos. I go in the back like, oh look, they have anal attraction. I just scream it out.
He's doing that, and Craig's over there like, ooh, Bigfoot.
Ooh, forest hump. Okay, let's go get that.
Yeah, that's exact. That's actually it.
Yeah. Spank Squatch. It's gonna get weird. Do a fluff. Yeah, that definitely brings new meaning to a fluffer. Oh my god. Holy crap.
Yes. Yeah. So that's the type of things. I mean, it's you get these things. I mean, some of these where there's where there's will, there's a way. They're going to do something. I mean, it's just. But that's one of those things. It's back to kind of the serious side of it. I really think that we need to start. Everybody really needs to start embracing the aspect that you don't know. Nobody physically has one. Nobody has concrete proof. So this whole thing of I'm the sole arbiter of I know what's real and I don't, people have got to stop. People have got to get this personal side of it out, and we've got to get to this more of a scientific side to where you can have conferences and stuff, but this is one of the things where people need to start having a convening of ideas, like, here, let's try this as an experiment, let's try this, and not I'm the sole one, I only know. Like Brian said, you don't have one in a cooler back there, you're not sitting on the Bigfoot zoo. So unless you got this stuff, I go, you're not an expert.
And what's his name? Peter something, the dog trainer out of New York. That guy's batshit fucking crazy. And he's the guy that fried up the Bigfoot penis that his dad killed and ate it. Talk about weird. I think that's all a bunch of bunk too. But as far as physical.
So was it human or Red Rocket? I didn't see that part.
I looked like a fucking kielbasa.
Well, see, that's once again, it's like, if you had that one stuff, it's just, here's the thing. It's like, of all the things, like, just besides the fact that, it'd be abhorrent to kill one. Okay, so you've got a Bigfoot in the freezer. You got all these choice cuts. You can have the prime rib of a Bigfoot. The first thing you go to is a Johnson. That's what you're going to fry up for your first meal of Bigfoot, and that's what that's very Asian of you.
The guy's really, really nuts. But on top of that, I mean, I have a
go for the parts.
19.5-inch print that I found. I have a physical casting of a 19.5-inch print I had, for upstate New York. And I mean, that is physical evidence. When you have, I've been in the woods way, way deep and having, we had a double cast. We had a parent-child cast. And I didn't have any casting material, but I had a 3D, 3D scanner, and I did a 3D scan of it. And so there is some kind of evidence, but do I have a physical Sasquatch? No. And the hairs that they find, like where, it doesn't have a, what is it? Is it a medulla? I believe it is the membrane.
Yeah.
Oh, and that's how you know it's Sasquatch. Yeah. It's
Bobby Boucher.
It's his knee.
Yeah. So your people are making, again, assumptions that because it doesn't have this or this hair didn't have it, then that means that's Sasquatch hair. Well, we don't know. Could have been a deformity in the actual gene or the root, and that's how it grew. It could be from any animal.
Well, that's Emma Allen just kind of said that, in a way, just like the same thing. This is where people need to spend more time comparing notes. Like, I've done this. There's too many people where my way is the only way, and if you don't agree with my way, you are a troll. I'm banning you. I'm no longer talking to you. Me and my followers will no longer spend any time with you. You were banned. And that's not how research goes. Just because you throw on a pair of shoes and walk outside doesn't mean you are now God's gift to the cryptid community. It just means you're going out and you're trying to find something. And people have got to get past this. I'm the arbiter of what this is. No, you have a photo. And just because somebody doesn't see what you think you saw doesn't mean you're right and they're wrong. It doesn't mean that they're right and you're wrong. It just means that what you think you see, other people aren't seeing. So what you got to do, press harder, get better equipment, and go try to find something that is irrefutable proof. But until we got that, it's going to be the same thing. We're going to have the blob squatch thing. We're going to have these problems where it's a pixelated photo, and you can say it's one of those things. Yes, nobody can claim to know what you experienced out there, because just like we've talked several times on the show, I can tell you I've had an experience where I saw
mountain lion out there. Do I have photographic proof? No. Can I tell you 100% the size of the thing? No, I can't tell if it was male or female. I just know I saw the tail and I could feel the hair stand on the back of my neck. You got these feelings. And that's what a lot of people have when they go out in these experiences. Because I'm either some of these really serious researchers, like these guys, Kenny, the cryptologists, are either incredibly bad at cryptid hunt, investigations and can't find these things, or the people that see them every time they go outside, something is, there's a problem here. There's got to, so which one is right? Which one's, like I said, the guy that goes out there and never sees anything, and the guy that sees something every single time he walks out his door. We, as a community, we've got to find some way to even this out, because one of these, it's not adding up. Just research wise, there's something wrong. That you could have big names that rarely see anything, but then you got somebody claiming I've got a family of Bigfoot living in my backyard.
Well, I mean, that's the problem. This social media crap is filled with
fraud,
scum of the galaxy.
Oh yeah,
it's literally the cantina in Star Wars, with everybody going, I've got the death system in 3 systems, like whatever,
Yeah, all of a sudden the arm's off there. Well, hey, at least that's proof.
Right. There you go.
You got the arm.
And it happened to be like a Bigfoot, whatever. So it's just, there's a lot of people just wanting to one up people. And there are people, and I know a lot of these people, and I've moved myself away from them, that have been telling a lot of
tall tales.
Yeah, lies and making.
Like I said, it's like it is lies. You're right. But it's lies. One of those things. There's that human nature side where you want to belong. You're really desperate, and so that aspect comes in to where you can actually, since everybody loves the word pareidoia, you can actually almost convince yourself that you experienced something that you didn't experience. Oh yeah. Because when you're walking out in the dark, I'm not gonna lie. That little squirrel sounds like a gigantic gorilla going through the brush. All it is this little rabbit, this squirrel rustling through the brush, but you would swear that you've got a 12-foot monster that's stalking behind you and is getting ready to kill you.
It's got a large penis and a pig.
Yeah. Oh, my heels fell off. I'm running in the heels in the woods. Whatever shall I do? And there just happens to be a blanket right here, and the music starts playing.
There's a Sasquatch playing the saxophone.
Oh God. But yeah, that's the thing is there's just too many people that that they want to belong to the group, and they want to have that experience. I get that would be, who doesn't want to see the UFO land and an alien come walking off that have that experience, or see a Bigfoot going across a meadow. But it's one of those things. It's like we have to start just admitting that what you see in a photo, there isn't anything there. That isn't the most amazing capture that I've ever seen in my life. It's not. It's a blurry photograph.
I'm seeing a lot of these things too that look like, I swear to God, it looks like they were taken at the fucking zoo.
Yeah, like, that train like, one. We'll roll back to that one. I would rather people show me stills of that. I would have an easier time having the conversation of whether or not this is a real Bigfoot or not, because you actually have something there. There's actually something physically there to look at and compare with. But most of the photographs we're seeing for people is this blurry tree with like a shadow and the sky coming through. And that's what people are saying is an amazing capture of Bigfoot. Yeah. This is, unfortunately, this would not stand up in any court of law. If they tried to prove that this was Brian over here at the convenience store and this is before he went in there, you're like, okay, the lawyer would have the amazing time throwing that out as evidence. Because one, you can't, you show the jury, does this look anything like my client? No. Okay, Your Honor, I move to strike this evidence, as fabricated. It's just, it wouldn't work. It wouldn't hold up in the scientific community. It's not going to hold up in the legal community. It's just, so we have to quit taking this as hardcore physical proof of the existence of this cryptid. We just, the best it is you had an experience, unfortunately you didn't capture it. So we need to go out and we need to try to capture it again.
It's let me tell you, I've been doing it for many, many years. We have plenty of experiences and opportunities. It just didn't work. We couldn't capture it.
And that's the thing. Is nobody can tell. It's just like anything. It's like you have to. Yeah, you don't tell somebody that they're a liar because they tell you that they saw Bigfoot. You had an experience. The unfortunate part is we don't have the physical proof side to verify it. All we have is what they'd call circumstantial evidence at best. We have something, it's hearsay because we don't have anything to physically prove it. And that's what I wish more people would just actually get to this non-emotional side and just realize, guys, I saw something. Unfortunately, I didn't capture anything. This is all I have, like quick thing. This is all I could see. Unfortunately, I don't see anything in this, but this is where it was at. That'd be cool.
We had plenty of that. Now we have people that have every day camera, right? Camera. And they still can't capture shit. They're on their phone 24/7. Large portion of our society, this is how they operate. So they're not going to see a Bigfoot if they just keep their hands in their palms the whole time.
Oh yeah.
But Brian, well, Crow was giving us the examples of what we don't have the proof. What about it, like the example where Saint Columba saw Nessie and that legend survived? How much of these types of stories are actually based on something?
Well, that's what we had. Yeah, we had.
And who's gonna like say, "Oh, that's church guy. He was a liar." He's gonna say, but I'm sure he probably was brought up with some kind of standard of decency that you're not gonna lie about that. But what did he see?
Henry Hudson saw a serpent in the Hudson River, and then you got the Lake Champlain champ they saw, and they wrote in their logs. I mean, I personally believe, like, when you see those old maps of the world, and they draw like mermaids in one spot, and they draw some dragons in another spot, and unicorns or whatever. I believe that these creatures did exist at one point in time. And I believe a lot of them have.
Well, the ancient, the Scots, they always talk about the water horse.
Yeah.
That they saw, like you said, so there's sightings, but the thing is, we don't know, was it a gigantic Wells catfish? Was it something that they saw? Because obviously a regular, lake trout is not going to look like a Wells catfish. Those things are huge. And if that thing breaches itself in the water, you're going to be like, holy crap, what was that? That was the size of a horse. And then you go tell people, I just saw a water horse. And
I just saw a video or a picture that they literally, I mean, I just saw it. I don't know if it's AI or not. Someone finding a baby plesiosaurus washed up on the shore. I had a picture of it someplace. I forgot where I saw it. And if
Kim Jong found in North Korea, found the cave where unicorns existed. Remember that. Don't forget that part. North Korea has the unicorn cave. So don't remember. After he hit 18 hole-in-ones, he discovered the unicorn cave. So, don't. Right, grand leader.
Hey, but there was one of those Asian countries that did have that snake-like shark creature that was found like 20 years ago.
Coelacanth?
No. It was more of a shark-like eel. I forget the name of it, but it was found over near like Japan, somewhere like the Sea of China or something like that. But might give a little bit of credence to the unicorn cave.
Every culture, for the most part, all have tales of dragons.
Mhm.
Fire-breathing dragons. Flying dragons. I mean, if there's no individuals that are really mixing like we have today, like we shoot this out there, and technically, if you're on the other end of the world, you can watch this live. Okay, they didn't have any of that. There has to be something. Either there was a lot of good shit smoked, but way back when, like puff pass.
Oh, I'm sure there was.
Or
it's like,
yeah, I'm sure there was too.
It's like Kim Jong. I mean, anybody that rocks that hairstyle, I question the mental upstairs. There's something not quite right upstairs if you're going outside looking like Dumb and Dumber.
Yes. I got finger on button. I got finger on button.
Yeah, you go with that look. Ooh.
Yeah.
Bless your soul.
My Korean nephews, semi-Korean nephews. One of which got really, really heavy. He looked a little bit like Kim Jong-il.
Oh, no. I'm sure there's an impersonation, type, there's got to be something like in some of the clubs where, there's like competition who looks like the dear leader.
Best they call him kimchi. Kimchi's actually really good, by the way. I prefer it without fish in it, by the way. It's good.
Yeah, it just like everybody, it's like rare. It's like every, Facebook, stuff for some reason is like, if everybody sees it, comment, hit something like hit a notification, hit a like, like on YouTube, hit like, do something like share it out and get it out there. Cause like I said, just if we can't get it, share it. Cause there's still a lot of people like, I didn't see it. Well, share it on your timeline. Help us out that way too. Cause that just,
well, I've been bumped down until like December 28th.
Well, yeah. So like if Brian shares it, you're not going to see it unless you scroll down to the end of his timeline,
unless you're paying attention to my timeline, but
it's just, it's like you've got people. So that's definitely one of those things. Like people talk about the bones. There's a documentary on Netflix, I think, that just came out. It's like they're talking about, this cave of bones that was found. I need to check that one out.
Brought to you by KFC.
Yeah, movie. Speaking of Netflix, the other one, the House of Usher. Dude, you got to watch that. That's awesome.
House of the singer Usher.
No, it's the family. It's a fictional story. It's the killing of the House of Usher, and it's really, really well done show. There's some real subtle things. I mean, like one, M.A. Allen's like 4 episodes. Like I said, it's really well done. There's Edgar Allan. It's based off Edgar Allan Poe, and they actually quote his stuff in there too. So they actually have some. It's really well. That's all I'll say. It's really well done. I don't want to say anything because I'm going to spoil it, because there's some hidden things. If you catch it, I caught on to it on the second episode. So I'd be curious to see who else catches up on the things that are, what they're trying to portray through each episode.
I haven't watched real TV in forever. And I've been watching real news right now.
You have to get past the woke, some of the woke things right here where they got some of the tropes in there, but you got to, it's
woke version.
It's 2023. We're unfortunately, that cat is out of the bag, and we're stuck with it.
Yeah, woke version.
It's pretty much everything's going to be thrown into a script just to throw it in there, whether it adds anything to the story or not. I don't. Just making a character trans and doing stuff, unless it actually fits to the story, what's the point? I mean, why do it to just do it? I mean, it's like, write it into the script, write it into where it actually makes sense. And then it's like, it'd be a great movie. I don't care.
There was like many, many years ago, they had a movie. I think the Wayans brothers do it.
White Chicks.
Not another scary movie.
Oh, I thought you were talking about White Chicks. Yeah.
No. And they had one of them is like, he was the only black guy in the cast. I'm the black guy that goes whack. And that's all he said was whack.
Yep.
I'm like, holy shit. And they had all the cliches in there. So they need a new one right now.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like if
if you're if you're poking fun at something or doing something, it's one thing. It's like, but if you're just going to bring in, I mean, it's just when you have a storyline and
Star
then you just
Wars?
write you write character. It's like that one you have the lesbian characters in the Star Wars thing that did not add anything to the movie because the characters they didn't
Like Jar
have.
Jar?
Well, yeah, it's like even Jar Jar. Yeah, like I said, there's one of those things that character could be completely written out of the storyline and nobody would miss it. But it was brought in, and those things when you put a character in just for the checking a box, it sticks out. One, because then it's obvious you're look at us, we put this in the show, but it also sticks out in the fact that it doesn't add to the storyline because the character and the partner, there's no, you basically are left to like, okay, why was this an important scene? This would just be the same thing like having, looking back, it wasn't really that, critical that Han and Leia were an item, other than just the fact we have to deflect because we just made Leia and Luke, brother and sister lovers. We really got to break off from this quick. Somebody didn't read the script all the way to the end. Quick, divert. Yeah, it's one of those things when you getting these movie tropes, it just, if you figure out a way to craft a story and things, you don't even really care about what the character's doing. It's like Rocky Horror Show. Does anybody really care? What the character? Do you really care about no? Because that was the story. Birdcage, Robin Williams. Nathan Lake playing a gay couple. Nobody really nobody cares about it. It's just these things because it was the way the story was crafted. It didn't stick out. But if you just have some show and you just randomly throw things into these things, it's just a jarring experience.
Yep.
And it doesn't work. You go to a movie for the escape. You want everything to be, you want to escape reality. You do these things.
I don't want to be browbeated by political correctness or diversity or any of that crap. I want to go see a movie to see a movie and to get away for a minute, lose your all the crap that's going on in your life and be entertained. And now everything is about force-fed X, Y, and Z. I'm done. Done with
I wish I could play the scene if I could look it up real quick. Hank Azaria's character in the Birdcage, when he's going around the little top like this, vacuuming the floor. So she works hard for the money, and he's talking about my watermelon heat, and he's doing funny as hell character. It works because it's supposed to be in the show.
This is the problem. Let's talk about Hank for 2 seconds and where we are with this woke and this whole political correct crap. He got let go basically from doing characters on The Simpsons and other characters because one of them was doing the Black Doctor. Oh no, you'd have to hire a black person to do that. Why? It has nothing to do with, well, that's derogatory. No, it's what was done. It wasn't meant to be derogatory to anybody. It was basically doing a Bill Cosby imitation. Yeah. People have just gone too far with this crazy crap. No one cares about your feelings in the real world. No one gives a shit.
Well, yeah, Emma Alton brought up the Disney thing. It's the same thing. It's just like the Snow White live action one where they refused. They weren't going to put in the dwarves because they don't want to, they don't want to have,
why not?
Be portraying little people, in these things. And there's a couple of people. It's like, why? I have no problem playing this role.
Yeah.
I think it'd be awesome. And that's one of the things is like why they get out of here. And that's,
there's a Native American group suing the Washington Redskins
to bring it back.
Redskins.
And Derek, yes, I want to see this movie. I really do.
Which one?
The Creator. It's the battle between it's kind of like an updated version in a way, kind of Terminator. It's where, in a way, it's like there's not really a good guy in this show. AI attacks humans. Humans are trying to wipe out AI. There's like it kind of plays both. Based off the trailer. I haven't seen it yet. I really want to see it. It looks really good.
I'm just thinking of the whole scene of the Asian guy in that Adam Sandler movie where they're fighting Pac-Man. I want
yes.
to buy a hamburger. Hello, little boy.
Oh yeah, his with Pac-Man's right there.
Yeah.
Oh, hello, my beautiful boy. And then all of a sudden, oh, kill this mom. Yes, fantastic movies.
Yep.
Mark, chime in here. I know you watch movies. Come on.
Mark does watch movies.
I watched too many, by the way.
Well, I was going to chime in about include shitty chicken, but I thought that might be inappropriate, but I said it anyway. So, cat's out of the bag.
There you go.
And I did.
It's a safe space, Mark. It's okay. It's a safe space. Nobody's watching.
But I should have brought in the show everyone the cost of the pumpkin. I know you and Brian saw it.
Which one was that?
You want me to get the pumpkin?
Hold
on a second. Let me get the pumpkin, then I'll show you. Just do more of the like Jeopardy music. What?
So, M.A. Allen, when you put Driving Miss Daisy up, I got to tell you that I do this all the time. My friend does it all the time. He does it to his sister. And when somebody gets in the car that I know, they want to go someplace, like, where are we going? I always say, I'm trying to drive you to the stove. And some people get it and some people don't.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Ball scratch. I don't know, that's what it's called now. You don't realize that Mark is actually a 1970s porn star. That's what he is. He doesn't show it. Ball scratch ice cream? No thanks. What flavor is that? Ball scratch? Uh-oh, here comes a pumpkin. Here comes a gourd.
Okay, here's the decorative pumpkin I got.
Is that a gourd, or are you just happy to see me?
It's kind of mutated too.
It's ribbed.
It has all these little
it's definitely
like bumps
ribbed.
on it. But look how much I paid
For her pleasure.
For the pumpkin. $350.
$350. That's another one good. That's what that monster came to the door, and that's when I noticed, and I was like, "That's for $350." $350.
Got $350 for a pumpkin ribbed. The rib pumpkin.
That's like, the Girl Scouts selling the cookies. That's when I happened to notice it was a 4-story tall for the crustacean period. That's a damn Loch Ness monster. Asking for $350.
$350 for that. You know, Kunta from upstairs. Sorry.
Oh God, those South Park has got some really good ones.
Akeem? Who the hell is Akeem? You know, Kunta from upstairs.
Oh God.
It's such a great movie.
For anybody that hasn't seen it yet, one, where the hell have you been living under a rock? Coming to America is one of the all-time classics that people have got to watch.
Yes.
Oh my God.
It's beyond a great thing. I think
there's just so many one-liners from that thing. There's almost too many. I mean, Eddie Murphy playing, sexual, they're up as a band, Sexual Chocolate, when they're oh my God, that's a funny scene.
It feels so lovely to be here tonight. What a beautiful. Give yourselves a round of applause. You're so lovely. Everyone's so lovely.
Yep, there it is. Sexual Chocolate.
I'd like to give a big round of applause to my band, Sexual Chocolate.
These boys are good. Sorry.
Yeah, these boys are good.
I have that on my phone. Yes. I played that a couple times.
Yes, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is another excellent.
Yes.
Yes, there's yeah.
Someone made
Mark killed the Jack the Pumpkin King.
Sexual Chocolate, and I put it on. And that someone was on Saturday Night Live.
I just like the mic drop. Ping.
Ping.
When he just does a whole.
Have you seen Bowfinger. That's another great.
That's the one where he thinks. Is that like I know what you're talking about where
Steve Martin is in and
Eddie Murphy, Heather Graham.
And Eddie Murphy kind of plays like at least two roles in the movie.
Alien Love.
Yep.
And
that's one. Yeah.
They're trying to get like the Eddie Murphy, like real big time actor to be in this movie, and they can't obviously they can't afford him, so they try to capture clips of him out in the parking lot and stuff like that. It's actually a great movie with Eddie Murphy also playing like Steve Martin's like sidekick in the really low budget production company.
He used to do some really, really good movies, and then he did some really shitty movies.
Yeah, 48 Hours is one of those classics from the 80s.
Loved 48 Hours when I first,
Yeah,
I always tell that to my kids. We ain't friends, we ain't brothers, we ain't partners. Gans gets away with my money, you'll be sorry you ever met me. My kids look at me like, what? Nothing.
Well, Harlem Nights is another fantastic one of his.
He shoots her in the toe.
Yeah, it's like
because everybody in it's good. Red Fox is good. I forgot her name that she gets shot in the toe. Richard Pryor, they're all good in that.
Oh yeah, no, that's. I'm trying to her name. God, why can't I think of her name? Because that's
Della something. Not Della Reese, is it?
Della Reese. She's the madam.
Yeah.
Yep. No, she was fantastic. Yeah, it's like you're going to be the nine-toed limpiness in all Harlem. Well, there it is, right there. Oh, she's going to shoot me in my pinky toe now.
Too much serious shit going on.
So we're going to hit people with garbage cans. Now I got to cut you.
Chevy Chase came out with a couple of killer movies, but he's an absolute douchebag.
Yeah.
Sorry, Derek. Yeah.
Yeah. It's, Christmas, Christmas Vacation, that's classic. I mean, it's just, Merry Christmas, shitter's full.
Sled Clark. You know that metal plate in my head? How could I forget, Eddie?
Tree looks awful big, Clark. Where are you going to put it? Bend over and I'll show you. Yeah, it had some really good lines. But that's this
line in the original one. My dad says I'm the best kisser in 3 counties. That was so bad. People didn't get it, and then when you're like, well,
that's some of my favorite way, like just that real dry type humor. I mean, it's like School of Rock, Jack Black's thing. I just want to let you guys know that over this past year, I've touched all of your kids, and I know all of your kids have touched, somehow have touched me, and everybody's like, oh, just is it those kind of jokes are just those are the ones that just make I just bust up laughing because I like that really subtle, dry style humor. That's
all the time.
Yeah, that's. See, this is how these things like show. I did not see it going this way.
Ooh, I think Merck's calling for a pizza right now. Nope. Who are we calling?
Mark, they don't have movie phone anymore. You can't call that anymore.
You've raped movie phone. For 48 hours. Press 1.
At 7:30, 8:30, 9 o'clock, and 10:30.
Press 2.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just you have selected Terminator for Showtime. Select. Yeah. Yep. The three beard. We're not bear. Come on.
And then he just disappeared.
Yep. Well, he's gone. You gotta. He doesn't want us to all know what's coming on the pizza.
Well, he's not coming. So he's not coming. I know he's not coming.
Yes, it's past that time. So what we're gonna have to do is, he's
He
Good
said he's
night,
gonna be right back.
sweet.
But yeah, we'll definitely we're gonna try to try to get him rescheduled as soon as we can. Definitely. So it's just so we're gonna get close here. But yeah, no, it's the takeaways. What we learned today. Be more proactive in discerning what you accept as proof of, the paranormal. It's mainly is like for me, it's like
Fred
one of the
likes to be called Vicky.
yeah. Bob, Paula.
Paula.
Yeah. So yeah, just like you said, for me, a lot of people, because I've seen there has just been a lot of vitriol and stuff, especially like on Facebook and a lot of these groups lately. And I think a lot of people.
That's good, by the way, Derek. Thank you.
What's that? What was good?
Well, I'm just answering Derek. My health
Oh yeah.
is still improving. Nothing 100 pounds couldn't cure.
Oh, I'll take full blame. This, every now and then I let my ADD go on full display, and we jump around. Yeah, that's one of those things. Just if people go through, it's just like when you're in the groups and stuff like that. It's like you don't have to be nasty. You don't have to be a thing. It's one of those things. Just because somebody posts a picture, you don't have to feel compelled to saying that that's the most amazing photo I've ever seen in my life. Because it's just like that. What comes of that? We end up with the screaming, kids that end up getting booted off American Idol in the first show because they've been told that all they were is the most amazing, beautiful singer that they've ever seen in their life, and they go on there, and we end up just with these, these hilarious gag reels from from when they're axing people in the auditions because they're absolutely bloody terrible.
Oh yeah. There's so many untalented people in this world.
Yeah, it's just
going out there, but Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's one of the things, especially with social media and everything, is like there's too many people that they've just been given like this free reign, and there's no checks and balances, and it's one of those. And if you even remotely try to rein it in, you are a hater, a troll, and you're no longer welcome in this group.
Right. So like when I release, I've written numerous songs. I'm recording them, copywriting them, and then I'm going to release them somehow. I'm releasing them for me. I want to release it. You may not like it. It may not be your cup of tea, Then again, you may love it. Who knows? But there's some people that actually, I'm just releasing it for myself. I do it for myself to put it out there. There's some people that actually believe they are the greatest dancers on the planet. They are the greatest singers on the planet, and they all sound the fucking same. And it's terrible. It's like a really bad Backstreet Boy, impersonation.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Doesn't mean you didn't have an experience out in the woods. Like Laura was saying, the thing. And that's the thing. It's like in everything I've said right here, there's absolutely no doubt that like Brian, her, and other people have had these experiences. That's just it. But the problem is we don't have, you've got people that take the same kind of experience that you have, and they're going around basically on the circuit claiming to be experts with undeniable proof of the existence of Bigfoot. And that the problem is in any realm of a scientific study, like I said, Brian said it several times, until we physically have one in a morgue or a zoo or somewhere to where it can be studied, anybody that says they have irrefutable proof, until they come forward, you have to take it with a grain of salt because we don't have proof.
But what about when Wallace Wagner's been a guest, and you go through the artwork found in churches of people inside these like flying egg-like vehicles.
That's proof that someone drawing that is drawing what they've seen.
These 14th
century.
These 14th century paintings found in churches. It's not proof that for some reason the craft never was able to take off. But when you have this much artwork, that has to be considered some type of evidence, and you keep seeing it in throughout different periods in history.
I think it's proof. I think
crops, like the crop circles.
Well, see, that's
Ken and
that's
Barbara's book
proof.
that has all these 16th century wood carvings.
You have some that shows that somebody saw something there, because you're showing these things, but what it is the part that's the problem is there's people that, because even like Wallace White, he says they don't claim that here's the thing, I've got this and this and this is what they are, when they think, that's where I think a lot of people, there's some people that get too caught up on the definitives, and that's one of the problem. It's like, until we have physically something like right here, until we have physically something to look at and study, the definitive is the problem. That's the cancer that eats a lot of these groups, is because there's people that claim this is what this is, and you can't.
I'm telling you, the Bigfoot that was calling the bingo numbers the other night.
Yeah, it's like, that's the problem. It's like everybody has the experience, and that's where I said, you see like the cave drawings and these things, there's a lot of people that they saw something and they recorded it. It's just like Brian with his experience, Laura with her experience. When these things, what they've done is they can do, you'll have the drawings, like the woods monster. You have these drawings, you have, this is what I saw. But what you don't have is, we don't physically have the Flatwoods monster. So we can't say it breathed fire. I know it breathed fire. It incinerated rats as it saw it with its eye beams, and they just evaporated, and it left these charred marks that cut through rock. Okay, where's the cut rock? Well, it was destroyed in a gravel quarry accident.
Yeah.
Of course it was. I'm like, and that's
flares I had.
And that's the thing, is there's people that make those claims, those definitive claims. It's like, I always go back to the thing, like the scientific side, you have to, in order for something to be proven, it has to be able to be replicated. And that's the problem with a lot of stuff, is how do you replicate Brian's experience out there with the Dogman? How do we replicate Laura's experience? How do we replicate these things? One, you can't. So all we can do is we keep a physical record, just like MUFON and all these other organizations that keep records of these accounts. And that's where you take this evidence and you start compiling these information, just like what somebody said. You do this, and then we can kind of have a basic idea. It's like, when you see this kind of footprint, this is not a bear, this is not a thing. We think this is proof that a Bigfoot walked through here. Doesn't mean that we have definitive proof that this is, you can't. You can't ever say Bigfoot only has this site, this type of instep. We don't know that. We've never captured a Bigfoot.
And M.A. Allen, opioids, you'll definitely see Bigfoot.
Yeah, I think that was involved in some of the cases.
This is why when we investigate, when I investigate with people, it's someone who's I've had this experience. I always ask them, are you currently under the doctor's care? Will you take any certain medications? Because it does have a problem. It can affect what you're seeing. I'm not denying some things that people are seeing, but some of it's the same people post video and picture after picture after picture all the time. I mean, like, for Christ's sake, just invite them into your fucking home and get them on your damn Ring camera.
Yeah.
Okay. If there's 10 dogmen in the tree outside, in front of your house, checking you out, just say, come the fuck in. Get them on the Ring camera.
I always say, ask the W questions. What you want to at eat. Some point, the whys. Why would they be here? Why would they be in this location? Have you done that research of why a Nephilim would be in this area? Have you asked that question? Okay. So okay, so if you've done the research and you figured out why they would be there, then you'd have to say, like, what is their goal? You have to start asking, and that's where the serious part of the research comes in. It's like, great, you're taking, you go through like Bigfoot, you saw this thing. What I want to hear from people is like, why do you think they're there?
Cool.
has to be a reason. Is it a food source? Is this some? There has to be some reason for an animal, a creature, to be in an area. They don't just, like, whether it's a deer, whether it's a cougar. There's something, that we know that after a while you should be able to start answering these questions of, like, what do we see? What do we have here that would be a draw for a creature of this size, of this something, to be here? Why? And that's the thing, is I don't think enough people are asking, that are taking the time to actually do the research questions. They're just simply, like Brian, I think somebody else said it too. It's strictly for the clicks. You just want people to, you want your live number, and I'm looking up the screen right now. I want to see a 17 or a 20 instead of a 2. So I'm going to come up with another great, fantastic story to try to drive those numbers up.
It's the preacher mentality, like, and there are people that are doing it. Until we get to 10 Dogman stories, I'm not going to be talking about mine. Like, oh, go on there and tell the Dogman story.
Yeah. And
I do what I do. I post what I post. Even I write whatever I write. And if I publish it, I'm publishing it for me. If you buy it, no problem. If I met you and whatever, you want me to autograph it, I'll autograph it. You're not making money of this. I want answers and proof. There are other people, they want your clicks. They want super chats. They want to make money.
And that's what we need. Those people that have those bigger platforms, the onus really is on those people too, to start using your platform for what it should be. It shouldn't just be, one up hour where I'm going to tell a greater story than what Brian just told. It needs to be, Brian tells a story, then the other two, me and Mark, need to, the onus is on us to start asking them questions. Okay, so why do you think it was there? What did you see? Was it doing, were there trees being stripped of their bark? Okay, well, man, maybe there's something like an insect or something part of the tree that they're using for food. You have to start asking these questions, but too many people are like, oh, wow, that's cool. Yeah. So what happened is, like, I was walking along and I had a dog man jump on top of the car and it started rocking like this. And I said, oh, dang dog man, get off my car. And everybody bam, 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 and it ran off. And I was like, ooh, that was a scary story. I love it. Now, Mark, what kind of story do you have? And I'm like, okay, guys, why did it jump on the car?
That's a good point.
What was the point of it jumping on the car? You just glossed over so much stuff. What was the purpose? Did you almost run? Did you almost run over the dog man baby? I mean, it's cub. What happened? Why would it jump on the car? But they don't answer these questions. They just go on to the next fireside chat story. And I'm like, guys, the research aspect, we're never going to get taken seriously. It'll never get taken seriously if all it is story hour. No college course is going to ever pick it up.
And this goes for a lot of people that are on TV. Same fucking people all the time, same faces. It's always Ken Gearhart or Lyle Blackburn or Stanton Friedman. You name it. UFO Land. It's what's his name, the author who everybody thinks is the greatest researcher ever, Richard Dolan. Give me a break.
Yeah, you know what? Exactly. Why would he jump on the car? I mean, it's just, why not just, if you're that violent, why not just punch through the window, rip out the throat of the guy that's next to you, drag him out of there, eat him? That'd make a little more sense.
He was a Chevy guy, he didn't like Ford F-150s.
Yeah.
Whatever. You know what? We're never going to solve this problem.
No, but that's why I just pressure, that's my request for a lot of people. It's just, there needs to be more civility. It's just, we need to look more to the serious thing. It's like, the stories are great, but I'd like people to just follow up with a serious question. Not you're an idiot, you didn't see that thing. Simple thing, ask them, why do you think it was there?
There's enough evidence to ask what was going on with the various cryptid sightings. There's plenty of documentation out there. There are things that only a few people are seeing. I believe it. I believe people may have seen something unusual, but let's talk about it, give the person a chance to explain it. Blurry photos that, where I'm being told I have to believe it's Bigfoot, that's not really convincing.
I'll
But
tell you, yeah, from a
there are,
research perspective, 9 out of 10 times, you don't see shit. You don't have an experience. There's nothing there. It's that one time.
yeah,
And that's
And let me tell you, it's
and that's like I said. That's where Lyle, Kenny, these guys have these things. They're going to see some signs. They're going to hear some things I hear. But how are these guys not having the same level of experience that you're seeing some of the people on Facebook, on YouTube, where they see hundreds of them every week? You're like, okay, there's something not right here. You have somebody who's dedicated decades to going out in the woods and looking, doesn't ever see anything. They're either incredibly unlucky, or they really need to look these people up and go visit them for a while, so that way they can actually start getting all these experiences every day.
but when Jackie and Bill Kuselis have been guests, they recount. Steve Ward has been another guest who's covered the same Mothman topics. Is when they cover the Scarberries driving 100 miles an hour down the road, and they're trying to get to the police station. The cops are talking with them. The cops are seeing people who have the accelerated speech. They're maybe shaking. Some of the handwritten statements. At the time, reveal statements about like, I want to see my minister. Well, later on, when people make those kind of statements, later research is saying, that's actually pretty typical. So the cops are seeing really uncharacteristic behaviors of younger people, kind of like playing a prank. How do you get your heart rate up? By saying, "Oh, okay, let's pull the wool over Officer Jones's eyes." You don't do that. So what caused it?
No, I think that's it. Just like when you start, just like through investigations, when you start, comparing notes, it's like you're going to have Laura, Brian, they're going to be able to talk here, and then they're going to notice some overlaps, like these similar characteristics, like this seemed to happen. Like one of the things we think that Bigfoot might be using, like the tree knocks, something like that. So we have this as a thing. It's like we think this is how they're communicating. Nobody can ever claim this is how they communicate, because one, we don't have on video Bigfoot grabbing a stick and going against a tree, and until we have that, it's
just
speculation.
Just saw one today of something that may be a Bigfoot whacking a tree, but it looked like it was trying to break up a branch to get what's inside the tree.
Yeah, and so that's what it would be. It's just, so of those things, that's what we need. So people need to come together. They need to analyze this. They need to ask us, just like I said, why would they do it? Was he trying to communicate? Possibly, but there's also a thing. There also could be, there is the insects. You have the, so Bigfoot might actually really like
termites.
The termite. The carpenter ant as a snack. And so by busting up this rotten log, you're able to get at those ants, and you're able to start eating them. So there's a really good chance that we might have some potential evidence of a food source, a food habit. And so then you can start using this as further thing. But the problem is we just have too many people that are definitive, like Mothman only eats gerbils. I'm just making this stuff up, people. So here, just, and that's the problem is when somebody makes that definitive, you're like, okay, well, how'd you come to that? Well, I just know it. And if you doubt me, then, I don't have time for you. You're off my page and you're banned. you're like, no, it was a simple question. How do you know
You're out
this?
of the band, man. You're out.
Yeah, and that's what I said. Is I think too many people
Mustang, you're out, man.
we have got to get the emotional side out of this thing. It's just it's like, well, Laura's and your things. It's like when we were talking about the Colorado thing. It's like we could be on. You both could have things like you really think it's real. I don't think it's real, but at no point have either of the three of us said a definitive. I know for a fact this is 100% real. You're wrong. You don't know what the hell you're talking about. Get off my Facebook. Because that's what's wrong. That's what's wrong with this, is because we all have points. The hair doesn't look quite right. Well, I could see this thing. You have the point and counterpoint. That's how research is supposed to go. That's how it's supposed to be. Dialogue is supposed to be this way. There's not.
Right.
And that's, I think, until we get that way with all these things, it's going to just be this wasteland of Mad Max killing each other. Metaphorically, nobody's really killing each other. Facebook, YouTube, metaphorically.
But Craig, with the guests that you've had on, like
yeah, same here.
Michael Carter, talking about how do you interpret something, the pillar of cloud by day and pillar of fire by night, kind
In the
of
Bible,
it's hovering over Moses and his followers in the desert. So,
can I get in on that with the Moses?
I was just going to quickly wrap up by saying, other than birds, what's flying at 1500 BC? So it's documented. I think a statement like that asks us to just delve into what is the explanation for this. It may not be a UFO, but let's talk about it. Okay, Brian, go ahead.
Yeah, no. I know you're saying. I mean,
appreciate that, Derek. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I just saw that, Derek. Thank you very much for getting that done. Even though I won't see it done, because
we gotta wrap it up here in a couple minutes here.
Yeah, is changing her features. So there's a lot of discussion that the burning bush that Moses was talking to, no, was the acacia tree. Acacia, the plant. And that happens to have one of the most potent forms of DMT in the world. So if the acacia tree is burning and it's releasing DMT, you bet your ass you're going to see a talking bush. You're going to see a lot of freaking shit. It's going to happen. You want me to do what? Go down there? Down there? Oh my God, you are God. And then you don't even know that you could have been
so you're saying he was just actually scratching stuff on a stone tablet, and then when everybody was so tripping balls, he came down. It's like, look here, whoa, dude. God has given us these 10 commandments.
Yeah, you can also ask, is that indigenous to the area?
It is.
Like 1500 BC. Okay, so you're saying
it was acacia it's really plentiful in the Middle East, and if you, I'm giving just some ideas, because they use acacia in a lot of ceremonies, because when you burn it, the DMT, and it's a really intense, trip. I mean, just listen to Joe Rogan talk about it, and the stuff that you get resolved in that, and things that come to you, just it'll turn you white. There he is. 10 commandments.
The Lord Jehovah has given unto you these 15. Wait. 10 commandments for.
We should just end on that right now. Thank you, everybody, for being here.
Yeah, that's right. That's good. Mel Brooks, awesome stuff. All right, guys. Well, like I said, everybody, check out. Like I said, everybody appreciate the ones that have shared and then watching the show. We really, said you guys mean the world to us. I said, Earth Radio, thanks again for being a thing.
Thank you for the Longhorns gift card.
Yeah,
I don't know where I got it, but whoever it was, thank you.
You blessed him with a Longhorn steak. You gave him the horns. Good job.
Yes, I did. Whoa!
So, real quick, Mark, what's coming up on you there, Nightlight?
I think next Tuesday I have Max Hawthorne talking about his latest research into the megalodon.
All right.
It would be a Meg. Sorry, that was my bad station.
Yeah. Who knows? Meg 3 is probably in the works.
Well, it's Meg 3.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, appreciate it, Susie, Derek. Oh,
yep.
Okay, and there, Laura. Thank you, M.A. Allen. So, Brian, what's coming up on your end of the?
Next Tuesday, maybe Taco Tuesday. I don't have anything.
Nice.
I've been trying to do a little RV work on what's going on right now. I don't like what's going on, and that's where I'm at. So I haven't been online much, and just asking people to pray for peace. That's it.
And I'm going to be on Into the Outer Realms tomorrow night. We're going to be talking. We're going to be talking about the Radium Girls and killing in the name of prophets. And so the little tease, Radium Girls. That was the corporation where everybody used to, the glow in the dark dials on your watches and stuff. The girls used to, they used to with a paintbrush. They used to have to paint that stuff, and they would have to use their lips and stuff to make the fine points. Well, the stuff is radioactive. So there's a lot of people, like I said, their deformities, like the radium jaws, where like their jaws just start deforming, falling off, eating away. It's like, some horrific photos. But that's sinister mysteries. It's just like killing in the name of prophets is what I'm going to be doing there. So, but
should be
definitely. Prayers for all the innocent people. But I mean, when I said you guys are watching real time what geopolitical posturing is happening. And that's why I said it's happening in real time.
Yep. Be careful, everybody.
So, but so if you guys want to go Into the Outer Realms, you can join over there. You can also listen to that show on Into the Outer Realms. Yes, you can listen to it there. You can go to Earth Radio. You can listen to it.
Why don't you get what's his name to come on here again, or if you already had him on?
Joey from Into the Outer Realms.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I asked him actually too if he wasn't able to make it tonight, but we should bring him on. I said that it'd be a fun one to have.
He wants to be a punk ass bitch doesn't mean that we have to take that. No, I'm joking. Only joking, Joe. I mean, it's not my fault that my skirt gets ruffled and I can't get on the show.
That's right.
I've never been on that show.
I know, that's what. Well, we could see he doesn't do a whole lot of interviews, so we'll see. I'll put in a good word for you. All right. So everybody, thanks for watching. Thanks, Emil. Thank you for the stars and everybody else for supporting. All those people that have liked, shared, and subscribed. We really appreciate you guys too. So thank you for watching.
Yes.
Appreciate it. We will see everybody on the next one, and that is good night.